Hello, everyone. Welcome to Winning Ways. I'm your host, Stephannie Solomon, and today is day 7 of the 12 days of forgiveness. These days are coming up very, very quickly. I just want to remind everyone who's jumping on that it would be so nice if you could just click the share button. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, click share. Uh, Give me a comment. Let me know what you think about what the topic means to you with a comment either on the Facebook or YouTube side of things. And of course, if you are on the YouTube side, it would be so grand if you could just hit that subscribe button, as I am trying to grow the community on the other side. Well, I'm going to jump right into it. I've been just giving different insights on forgiveness. As someone said to me the other day, she said, "Man, there's always something to say about forgiveness." And that is absolutely true. I've said this before and I'll say it again. In 1997, when I wrote my first book, there's a chapter in that book um, titled "Forgiveness is Not an Option." And man, that just um, hit a lot of hearts. I got a lot of feedback on it, and I still get feedback to this day of how that chapter touched a lot of readers. And what I wrote about in 1997, oh my God, I've had addendums to that since then. I've written several other, books since then, and I've talked a lot more about forgiveness since then. I'm now a forgiveness coach, and what I knew about forgiveness in 1997, I still know, but it has expanded. I know even more because of what I had to learn and apply in the realm of forgiveness. And as long as we're on this side of things, it will be something, a choice that we will have to make whether to forgive or not. Now, it is a choice, and there is a debate over it. Um, there are people who say that some things are not forgivable. I never know, that we never know if we will get to that place to say, I can't forgive this person for that, because we don't know what that offense could be and how deep it will hurt us. So we just don't know if we will ever be, even Christians, we don't know. We're told this is a commandment of what we're supposed to do, but we don't know if we would ever get to that place and say, I just can't. It's a struggle. And if we're really, really honest, it is one of those commands that causes us to toss and turn and struggle because of who we have to forgive, what we have to forgive. And the who includes ourselves. Oftentimes we neglect ourselves and don't even think about giving ourselves the attention of having to be forgiven and to be forgiven by ourselves. Well, tonight I'm just going to touch on another reflection that I had about forgiveness. All right, I'm going to be as short as possible. Forgiveness is a superpower. I've learned that. Uh, didn't know that in 1997, but now I say, you know what? It's a flex. It really is. It's, as I said the other day, a top tier move. And I would even hazard to say a boss move. We hear those terms out here. Why is that? Because I've learned it takes more of us to galvanize um, our thoughts, our intention, our will to choose to forgive consistently, to forgive that hard thing that we decide, because what might be a hard thing to one person may not be hard for another. I've seen situations where individuals have forgiven criminals who committed a act of murder, on a loved one, and they get to court and say they've forgiven them, and people bash them because they can't see themselves doing that, you know. So we don't know. We really don't know what we would struggle with. We really don't. And then there are people who don't sh- appear to struggle as much as we might over the same offense. But it's a boss move, it's a flex, it's a superpower, because the fact that there are people who would disagree with us and tell us not to forgive for a particular offense, it really requires confidence, boldness, and so much more of self to stand out with the opposition, the opposing views around us, and say, nope, I'm laying this weight aside. What this person did hurt me. What I did to myself hurt me. Um, and it's not worth dragging this weight with me every day. It's not worth me taking this weight to bed with me, waking up with it, going to sleep with it, walking through the day with it. It's not worth it. And it's harder for a lot of people to make that decision and live it out. It's easier to hold a grudge. It's easier to be in a funk. It's easier to be angry for some people than to do the work to unlayer all of the pieces that go with that hurt and that pain and that wound, and to forgive self or someone else. So it really is a boss move. It really is. And it's a superpower, because it's a superpower, I think, because when you get to a place of saying, I, I, I choose to forgive, and you go through the process. I know for me, there have been instances where the forgiveness process was shorter, and then there were times where it was much longer. But nonetheless, I made that decision. I dealt with my feelings. I'm not going to sit here and say I denied myself. I didn't bury my head in the sand. I didn't act like it didn't happen. And even after I chose to forgive, I still remember. I still remember things that happened years ago and not too long ago. I remember very well, but I choose not to allow those memories to dominate, consume, and drive the train for how I decide and how I need to move through life. The superpower is managing those feelings, managing those thoughts that we have. They will arise. We will get triggers. We don't even know sometimes what will trigger us. Have you ever been somewhere at a function, an event, at a train station, an airport, just walk into a room, walk into some place, and all of a sudden you see something that reminds you, you smell something, you hear something, music maybe, that takes you to a place where an event happened that you're not very comfortable with. But I've learned when we choose to forgive, that superpower makes that trigger each time that incident comes up. It doesn't have that harsh impact. It doesn't have that sting that it had initially, because we're working on laying it aside, laying aside that weight. And that's a superpower when we learn to do that. I've learned also that developing a posture of forgiveness entails self love and soul care. I've talked a lot about what soul care is. And, what that means is that I've made a decision, or the person who is forgiving has made a decision to self correct, to honor oneself, to be self aware, socially aware, and to honor myself. I talked about that earlier this week, as well as protecting myself, self protection. See, forgiveness is not this slash thing of, first of all, misinterpretation. But when we know what it is, we start realizing as we walk in it, oh, wow, I feel more, not emboldened, but empowered now. And even though you did that to me, I'm the better for it. We can say, feel, and live in what was meant for evil now works for my good, and that all things work together for the good of them who love God and are called according to his purpose. So now that has a different meaning when I think about forgiveness. I can live, I can thrive through that struggle of that offense. That is a superpower. And a lot of people miss that experience and do not gain that attribute, that character trait of being a forgiver, um, because they've made a decision to wallow in for years or stay over time in the memory of that offense. Again, I don't believe in acting like it didn't happen and forgetting it. It happened, but regurgitating it over and over again with no resolve for me and no development and deliverance for me from that, that's just a waste of energy and time. And truly, that's not a flex at all. And that's all I want to share today. Live to experience that superpower of forgiving yourself or someone else. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much. Live in that. Understand there is so much to experience when we shut down all the negative self-talk and all of the opposing views around us. Oh, I wouldn't if I were you, and this, that, and the other. It's our life. The bottom line is no one goes to sleep inside here with this brain, this mind, but us. And so we need to understand that, we have to live with that struggle and learn how to overcome that struggle. And the best way to do it is to become a forgiving person, to lay aside that weight. All right, that'll do it for tonight. That was quick. I told you they were getting quick. All right, so this is day 7. Look forward to day 8 tomorrow. All right, I'll be on. And if you, once again, you want to have a one-on-one session with me about forgiveness in your life, I will definitely be open to consultation to see if we're a good fit for each other and move forward with that. All right. So just log on to www.stephanniesolomon.com and you can set an appointment online and we'll take it from there. Hi, Phyllis. Hi, Phyllis. So good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. Thanks, Phyllis. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to call this a night and just keep me in prayer, folks, as I move through this project. I tell you, coming up every day to put this together has been a challenge, but I'm here for it. I'm here for the challenge. I'm here to meet it. All right. So everyone, just take care. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. As I close out here, let's get ready to close this out. Have a great week. All right. And if you need to forgive yourself or forgive someone, don't belabor it. Do it. Move forward and enjoy your best days being a forgiver. Take care.